Okay, so welcome to the Science Club, Center for Promotion of Science. We've been wondering what the world would look like without mathematics.
Oh, that's a very interesting question, because mathematics, of course, is not just a pure human invention, but still it requires the perspective of the human. So your question for me is to try to imagine the world without humans. I can imagine a world like that, but a world without sense would be quite an empty world, and as we are humans, putting the sense also into the world. That would be a strange situation.
So how you got interested into mathematics?
Basically, I wasn't too much interested in mathematics as a student, as a child, although every of my family members been mathematicians. My mother, my aunt, my grandfather, my uncle, and actually they were great teachers. But on the other hand, in the school, I didn't meet two good teachers, and in my case, it's very important that whom I learn from. So if I feel the passion, if I feel the engagement, the motivation, then I think I can learn anything, everything. But in this case, there was always somebody at hand in every holidays who helped me to survive the mathematics in the school. And I became a humanist. I was interested in philosophy, and I made my PhD in philosophical and art history related topics. But I was always interested in interdisciplinarity, multidisciplinarity, transdisciplinarity, cross-disciplinarity, and especially when art can get inspired by science, and when science gets inspired by art. And I try to find a community where this collaboration between artists and scientists really produce a new kind of value. And I was fortunate enough to meet with a group of mathematicians and artists, and I thought that, okay, if this inspiring wave, this exciting wave, this creative way exists, this path exists towards mathematics, why I haven't walked this path any time in the school. So I decided to bring it back to the schools and bring these people, these passionate people, people who are passionate about mathematics, bring back to the school to provide the opportunity for the children to open up these colorful paths towards mathematics and the arts. So this was also my learning process to get interested in mathematical and art connections.
And how do you combine philosophy, arts and mathematics in your work? So if you could give us some examples of how do you combine it?
In fact, I do a lot of workshops, and at the moment I'm mostly interested in geometry and shapes, forms, patterns, and visual patterns. And actually in these workshops we try to discover these kind of connections when mathematics can become a tool in your hand to create interesting, exciting, beautiful or complex things, to make things. And in this way we do mathematics with the children. So it's an active learning, and we do it together. It's collaborative learning, and it's very much based on problem solving. So this is the main basis of my activities, what I'm doing at the moment.
So in your country, I guess it's the same situation. Children usually run away from mathematics. They don't like it, they find it really difficult. So is it a problem with mathematics or with how mathematics is taught in schools, so with curriculum and the way teachers approach it?
Mathematics is about problems, but mathematics is definitely not a problem. It's more, as you told, and as it's contained in your question, it's more the way how mathematics is perceived and how mathematics is presented that can be problematic in this regard. But as we find that there are all problems are exciting and all problems can be presented on an exciting way and also on a boring way. I think the main question that if, for example, a child can recognize, can discover a personal connection to that certain problem. And I think education many times can commit that mistake, that they so much want to separate the knowledge from the children's own world. And through the way when we learn to make distinction, we learn to make differentiation. These are very important human qualities, but we forgot to base this learning on the children's own energy, their stories, their colorful fantasies, their imagination, the power what is in their associative network, because children connect everything with everything, and school try to channel these connections and try to channel these creativities of the children to make maybe one certain kind of creativity, and try to put aside those creativities which may be disturbing, which are maybe not needed, which can lead to trouble, which have too much risk. But if you are a good teacher, you might want to hear your students' voice, you might want to help your students to discover their own talent, what makes them to a human, and you want to rely on the community and want to help the children that they find out that everyone is needed and everyone has a special quality and everyone is needed to solve a complex problem. So this is, I think, the main challenge for the teachers, and I can also imagine that it's a really hard work to do it day by day. But I think this is the most important.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.